Hello, how are we doing today? Hopefully we're all having a great day. My name is JoeG. I'm going to be walking through some changes I'm making. So many of us know .NET 5 has come out in about 2 weeks now, and I've been slowly updating some packages and websites, and I got this notification from Namecheap, where I use to renew domains and such, telling me that my domain for the EventMeetups site is expiring. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I haven't actually used the site in close to 2 years. And I actually didn't think about renewing it, but then I thought at some point we're going to get back to the quote unquote real world and conferences are going to be a thing again. So maybe I'll do it. Plus, I've been looking for some topics for the stream, so it makes sense for me to use it. So the overall gist of the site is it tracks the parties and events that take place outside of the conference. So for this particular one, the MVP Global Summit, it lists all the different parties that are happening. And it has a couple of things for it, like adding to calendar details. If I click on an actual venue, it'll show me the details about the event. If I hover over more details, it gives me some details. I can actually click on it and see different things like where it's at, if there's any people on Foursquare that have checked in, how much it costs, what's included, what's not. It essentially allows for people that are new to the event to register or at least see what's happening. Because a lot of these conferences, there are a lot of parties and or gatherings that happen outside where you have to know a guy or a girl who knows a guy or a girl to get in. So I started listing them out here. Now, when I thought about the renewal, I'm like, this site is quite old. I think it's actually .NET 4.0, could be 4.5, .NET Framework. So I'm like, why not upgrade it? So I started looking at it yesterday, and it turns out I actually started the process a while ago, but never finished it. So I might as well go through the start of it. So I showed some basic stuff. There's the home page, which is this. This essentially goes through a list, the database to find any events that match the criteria. You can filter the criteria here by known venues within a certain geographic zip code, or geographic region. This uses the Foursquare API and kind of looks for unique events around that. And then you can filter it on dates. These are the dates that actually have events. And then there's likes and shares and usually tweets about it, but I probably using an old API. Then have the ability to download an RSS feed or an iCalendar where you can update your calendar, and then a geotagged RSS feed. That was a thing a while ago. I don't think it's a thing anymore. Then there's certain local links that are in the area, like how to get around Seattle, Bellevue, a map where you can see all the areas, and then some photos, and then just general about me. This map is broken because there's an older version of the Bing SDK that I'm using. So as you can see here, things are pretty much broken all throughout. So I'm going to give it a little facelift, so to speak, but it's got to start from the back. So this is the project. It consists of 6 projects in this side supporting project that I'll cover in a minute. But the website is a typical web forms app, which has one or more pages. As you can see, has a master page and then other ASPX files, and then there's individual for venues, for users, for services, and so on. Oh, I forgot I had a no data feed. Scheduled tasks was something that I did to automate sending out tweets and or emails. That was before Azure functions were created, so we'll have to go and fix that. And then this is the event maintenance page to view about photos, blah, blah, blah. This all uses a combination of web, data, and domain, or logic, domain, and data. The web is just helper routines for things like the master page, inheritance, etc. Most of these I have in new packages that I wrote, so we probably won't be using any of that. The event logic has things like, I call this the business layer, sometimes logic, sometimes domain layer. It really depends, but this has all the interactions with it. If you've been following my stream at all in the contact rebuild, this is the equivalent of the contact manager. So things that interact. So the web service will actually use this application or this class to get a list of all the cost types. And then there's several of them. You then go in domain, this lists out the individual models to some extent. There aren't a lot of public models, just venue, user, and event. Most of the other models were in the data layer. This was hard-coded or hardwired to use any framework 6, and we tied directly to the models that it generated. So this is your typical hello world, right-click, publish kind of app. So we're going to go and, now that I know things a little bit better, we're going to go and kind of fix that. So we're going to keep this app open every once in a while to come back to it. So I started looking at the app here and created a new solution a while ago, and I really haven't done anything with it since, but this follows more of the model that we're doing. There's going to be an API. The API calls in this case, data layer, which has one or more managers to it. So we have a conference manager, which is the main event. One of the things that the site does that I didn't mention is this is what's considered a multi-tenant application. Although you're seeing it for MVP Summit events, there's also a past Summit event, which I don't think I've registered the domain registered anymore, but it supports, I don't have it registered anymore. It supports a bunch of different clients. So based on the domain name, it shows different fonts and different colors and stuff because I used it for quite a few other conferences. So this has all that stuff to get the connection information or get the conference information. And then Meetups probably just does that, gets an individual set of all the meetups. So if we looked at the site here, the MVP or the conference manager will return global MVP summit with a list of all the sub events. So there's multiple versions of the MVP summit, which I used to be able to see somewhere here. At least I thought I could. I know if I can change this to that, and it comes up with the event of 2017. Or I guess not. Maybe there wasn't an event in 2017. Let's just get back to 2018. But the idea is that, and it will come up with a list of events. And then the Meetup Manager will show all the different meetups that are happening. What's the service collection extension? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is something I did to add in all the different data managers so I can register it at once and not have to do, knowing the names of them. I can just call add data managers and it adds in the meetup manager and all those, handles the DI a little bit better. And then let's see, I wrote some integration tests with it to make sure it was working. I don't know if they actually work or not. I built the project this morning or this afternoon to make sure it was working. But we'll look at it some more in a little bit. And I did change the passwords because I was using a predated password. And we're going to go and look at doing that. Right now, they're all in user secrets, so you can't see what my old password was or any of the new ones. Let's see what else we have here. SQL has the mappings of it. So here I use the database models that mirror the SQL Server instance and the way I have the table schema out. But the data conference manager doesn't understand that. The conference manager only knows these domain models, which you see here. So it knows how to talk about a conference enum, that kind of stuff. So you notice the list here is a lot smaller because we are using AutoMapper to do some of those translations. So now a product table has a product as well as ID and names. A meetup has cost type, event type, created by, and a list of products. So we don't have to keep building that. You want your domain objects to be just what they are, a domain, the business entity that you're trying to model, and not just a replica of your database or storage schema. So this has the interfaces that are aligned, the manager, repository, meetup manager, and meetup repository. I don't remember what these are for. Oh, these are for the configuration, so I can get a list of the configuration items to point back and forth. Ooh, don't want to do that. Almost accidentally dragged and dropped. And that's it. So I started off building out the API to make sure that it works. And then we're going to build a user interface that just calls the API. So let's see where we were going. Let's see if our integration test, which only has one method, was running. Oh, this is using the .NET test, so I'm going to have to change that. Let's go and let's update all these projects to .NET 5. So easiest way to do that is to properties and then target framework. Remove the others, take .NET 5, click OK, and then I want to set this to .NET 9 or C# 9. Click OK. Then I'm going to hit function F4 because I'm going to want to copy out these two lines here. I'm just going to move this here so it's easier to copy, and then just paste that in the other so I don't have to keep opening up the dialog box. So let's do that. If you notice the stream, I'm using a different color scheme. Over the weekend, I was playing around with different themes because I was kind of getting tired of that dark theme, only because I don't like that it uses like a light black background, so it makes the colors kind of weird, in my opinion. So I went to, I think, the Visual Studio dark theme. Function F4. Change this. You'll notice there's a user secret ID in these. This is how we enable secrets within the application for when we're doing local development, so I don't check in any user IDs, passwords, that kind of stuff, since that's a general no-no. And then once we do this, we're going to kind of go and update all the NuGet packages. This is, I don't even know how old this is. When I tried this update, I guess it was 3.1, so it's at least a year old, a minimum, probably more. Okay, so let's save them all. You can see 3 dots over them because now it's going to restore all the packages. And then I'm going to pull up my NuGet console once those are all done, which it looks like they are. Let's go to NuGet and see how many are dated. I'm going to pull this up a little bit so you can see the bottom. I have to adjust the screen because I ended up hiding part of it. So there's a lot that actually needs to be upgraded. We are a couple of versions behind on that. A couple of versions behind on that. So I'm going to hit the update and upgrade all of these. I don't know if we actually need Swagger anymore. .NET 5 supposedly has support for it, but I don't know what you do for existing projects or if I have to right-click new for it to work, but we'll get there at some point. So those packages were successfully updated. Where are the others? Those are just implicitly installed. So everything should be updated. Let's build it. Control-Shift-B or Control-F9 if you look at my tooltip helper. Looks like everything's building. And everything built successfully, so cool. Let's see. Let's run the mapping test to make sure they're. What am I still? I'm using NUnit for the testing, right? I'm gonna use in my other projects. Manage NuGet packages. Yeah, I'm using NUnit. I think I switched to XUnit in the others, didn't I? Didn't I? C projects. Let's go with the context because that's the last one. Open with Notepad. Always love opening CS prods Notepad. Yeah, XUnit. So let's go and update that. I don't really like NUnit anymore. Or not that I don't like it, I just don't use it anymore. So I'm going to go and change this to NUnit. Oops, didn't want to do that. I hit run. My bad. Just good. They all failed. Let's go and change this. Manage NuGet packages. And I'm going to remove you. Why didn't that upgrade? That should have upgraded. Or did I not do the manage for solution? No, I did. I did. That should have updated. So I'm going to remove you. and remove you. And then let's go for XUnit. And throw XUnit in there. I haven't even checked to see if my audio volume was great. I just assume it's always working. So we have XUnit here. And I want to add it to integration test. I wish there was an easy way to hit the projects instead of doing one by one. SQL test. And then data test. And let's get rid of these unused usings. And I already forgot the syntax for XUnit stuff. So let's go and take a sample project, the contacts, source. And where are my tests? Test. And open you with Notepad. I only need the syntax because I forgot. And we all need facts. We don't need task fixture anymore. I gotta figure out how to do one-time setup. This should be a fact, or it doesn't work if you cut, Joe. You gotta copy fact, and then there is no assert. This should just be assert dot true. Cannot resolve. Oh, what is configuration dot assert true? Configuration dot assert configure. Oh, this throws an exception. That's why. That's why. Oh man, I never liked that, but that's what our mapper does. I guess we could wrap this in a try this. And then just do assert dot true. True. And then here do assert dot false. Or in theory, you can do assert true equals false, meaning it didn't pass. And let's just do this. So Control X, Control V. Yeah. Really things going from switching between Macs and PCs because the keyboard shortcuts are different and tend to forget them. Not so much forgetting them, the copy and pasting is what really kills me. So that one should be good right now. I gotta figure out how to do this. I don't remember how to do the startup. So let's just do that for now. So that works. And then add a to-do. Not 3, Joe, only 2 to do. Run auto mapper config. If this is the only one we have to do, then I might just do it in here, because I don't think there are really any. Oh, actually, I already got it here. I'm running configuration, so I don't even need this. Hey, Joe, turn up the light on your face. Alexa, set off this light to 50%. Is that better? I haven't been able to do direct light on my face because I can't get the balance right. And I have 3 different screens to look at, and one looks pretty good and the others look kind of messed up. So something I've been playing with for a while. Just trying to get my lighting right. So we got this test case working. Let's go and look at this data test. I don't remember what we're doing in here. I think this is just another integration test. Oh. These are all the test cases. So let's do using XUnit. This one I didn't write yet, so did I not reference it yet? Or is it just XUnit? Using XUnit. So here we're going to probably do testing. We don't need any of that. Fact. And then I want to do assert true equals false, because we want them to actually fail until these are working. And then change these tests to a fact. Fact. Yeah, I know. The problem is the light is directly above my head, so it's really hard unless I pull the green screen really close and then it stops it. Actually, it doesn't even stop it. So I have to really play around with that because the chrome dome really gets in the way. Or I should just do like Fritz does and wear hats. But it is a challenge messing with lights. I actually thought about putting like some sort of cover here, or maybe just unplugging those light bulbs when I stream. I brought some diffusers that fit around my LED lights. Yeah, I thought about doing that too, or maybe have them face inside that way, because I really don't need them when I'm here because I have lights at my desk. So maybe tomorrow before I stream, I'll unplug those bulbs and then see what it looks like. But thanks, Jeff. It's a good idea. What else? There's something else I did that I wanted to mention to you, but you see it with the lighting. Got that, and now let's fix this one. It's probably the same thing, just switching from XUnit over. using X unit, and I don't think I need you. Wow, there was actually a lot of these. Why do I have so many integration tests? I actually looked at getting a ring light. Email me or put the link in here. Actually, I don't know if you can put the link in here, but email it to me or send it to me on Twitter. I found this ring light that I was thinking about getting that's right here in front of the camera that circles the webcam. That might be a better look. So I was planning on playing with it last weekend when I was last week when I was off, but I never got around to it. I ended up doing typical honeydew list stuff. Assert is assert not null. What was it? Not null. And this part I have to figure out how to do. To do figure out initialization of database connections. So let's comment out this. And then we should be good. Why are you complaining? What's wrong with you? Oh yeah. It's determining that this is an X unit and I have a public thing that's not a fact. So I'm just going to do private for now so it doesn't complain. And I think that's it. We should be able to build right now. And it built. So let's go and run this test and see if this works. Thanks, Chef. And that failed. What did it do? Let's do a breakpoint in there and see what it failed on. This really is just test the mapping. So let's do a debug here. Let's see what we get. For some reason I got the song White Line stuck in my head. It was on TV the other day when something my wife was watching and I haven't been able to get it out of my head. Throw. Where'd that come from? True exception. Line 26. And let's see what the exception is. So it's working as intended. There are unmapped members found. So let's see what my unmapped members are. events to meetup is missing the conference. So let's copy this out and close this and allow this to finish. And let's go take a look at the mapping. This, I swear, to me is the hardest part in using AutoMapper for me, and that's getting the profile to work. But once you get the mapping done, it's fairly, forget it. It's just the setting it part that doesn't work well. So let's see what we got. The unmapped property is conference. So we got data models, events, data models, events. Oh, we don't have the conference in here. That's fine. Did I purposely ignore that one? I don't think so. So let's go and do for member. And then destination. Destination dot conference. And then we want options. Opt mapped from source. And then what did I call it here? Source dot main event. I think that does it. Well, let's fix that line because that's nasty now. Let's do a semicolon. There, it's still pretty nasty. Let's do that. There it goes. That's a little bit cleaner. Now let me run this and see if that fixed it. I might have to map the other one back, but we'll see. It's pending. Let's go back to that page. Worked. Cool. So my configuration works. This should run it true. And my unit test passed. Good. So my thing is, now typically whenever I do mapping, a lot of people say don't do integration tests, but this is always one integration test that I always run because it's a lot easier to debug it while you're still building the mapping than it is in the event you have it. In my Desert Co-Camp site that I organized, I started using AutoMapper in there, and one of the first things I do in app startup is run the assert configuration is valid, which is a terrible thing to do. I should know that it's valid beforehand, but this is a good way to double check. So that is good. Let's see what we do in our data test. So we actually have nothing in there because that's the one that's all mocking. What's in our conference manager test? These are actual integration tests. So this is going back and forth to the database. Services.get required service. guess, I mean, the easy way is to just call fixture setup, since that's technically arranging it. And each of these unit tests should be able to survive on their own. So put a breakpoint there, and I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and let's debug this test. Why is my run there? I want to debug. I want to debug you. Or I think they changed this. Yeah, they changed this to default to the last run, which is probably run. I haven't run these tests in forever, as you see, so I honestly don't know if it's going to run or not. Value cannot be null connection string. Okie dokie. Oh, I think I know why that is. That is probably because I'm using this. I gotta call configure services. Oh, I did call configure services. Where did it fail? It's missing the connection string parameter. I think that's because I'm using EF core now and I haven't gotten that part totally working with the manager. Get required services, configuration, I connection strings. So this part here should give me the connection string. So let's go and re-debug that. Let's stop it. And then start again. Debug. There's another reason why I prefer writing at least one or two unit tests to get a lot of that configuration stuff out of the way. So when I'm actually building the API, it works a lot cleaner. So let's see. Service provider. That's not what I wanted. Let's check connection strings. Oh, it's null. Huh. Why is it null? So this one's connection strings dot. Huh. Well, that's broken. So let's go take a look at the configuration. And I might not have updated this file with it. So let's see. Event Meetups database set in user secrets. So pardon me for a second while I switch to my new screen for back to live share. And let's paste this format to see if it's right. Connection strings, event meetups database. Yeah, it's right. And app settings.json. Oh, I know why. I believe I have the configuration wrong for the startup. Here I'm only doing add user secrets, and I need to add in the environment and everything else, which I have here. So I need to do this right here. I'm going to match it because I didn't add the app settings, so it doesn't know to start from there. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it is, so I'm going to double check it. .add file. Come on. Let's get rid of you, get rid of you, review. Get rid of you. You're complaining because I don't have system dot. You're probably complaining. Actually, you I don't need because I'm not going to use environment for local dev. At least I don't think so right now. Now we should be good. Okay, let's rerun it. Do I have an auto mute? When you stop talking, a bunch of extraneous noise starts, kind of like digital artifacts, maybe feedback, but doesn't sound too feedback weird. You probably couldn't hear me when I was working on secrets because I might not have. So you didn't hear me when I was working on feedbacks because I don't have the audio in there. I added the video piece to it, but I forgot the audio. So lesson learned, I have to add the audio source. So it wasn't weird. I actually literally added it like 20 minutes before here to mess around with it. So thanks for that. I'll make sure I make a mental note to do that. And you are broken because I said to require this file. And this one is actually optional true because I don't think I actually need app dev. So we shouldn't fail when it happens. Audio's much worse than when you first joined this stream. Nothing has changed except for sometimes the fan kicks in. Unless I move back. I didn't move the microphone. Let's check the microphone volume. The microphone is hovering in the yellow part. I guess sometimes if I lay back too far, it should be there. Everything with the stream says it's good. Yeah, let me write a pen. I am recording. I'm at 53 minutes, so I'll start looking around 45 to 50 minute mark and see. That's interesting though. Unless I'm getting in the red too much and it's starting to crackle, because I see that when I'm talking at normal volume, I keep peaking between red and yellow. So I'm going to play with lowering a little bit so I'm not peaking in any red. Let's see if that works. I tweaked it a little bit. Let's see, where were we? So, debugging these tests. Thanks for all the feedback. Most people just listen if there's anyone actually listening, and no one ever really provides feedback. So I listen to spot checks of the stream and never really focus. I never really notice any difference. So thank you for that. And yes, totally. I'm trying to make this better, so I take any feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, because I want it to get better. And the only way that's going to happen is by getting feedback. I listen to myself and go through it, but there's, I stream for 180 hours or so a week, so I don't go back and QA every one of them. So when if I'm doing something like this where someone's providing real-time feedback, I get to go back and hear the differences. So by all means, keep coming with it. I made lots of changes that you've actually implemented, like my green screen now is much better. There's no background noise to it. The lighting I've still been tweaking. Hopefully those diffusers will work, or the turning those light bulbs off will help the forehead glare. Let's see, where are we? Hit play. Now let's see what my connection strings look like. Connection strings, still no. Why do you know? Let's see what this says. Function of 12. And let's go for my model. Domain, configuration, connection strings, EventMeetups database. Why are you not seeing it? That is strange. Strange. Thanks, RC Bisme. That noise might actually be the fan. My fan kicked in on the thing, or it could have been one of my kids is showering and the bathroom is directly above me. So they stopped about 5 minutes ago. So that might have been some of the background noise you hear. So I apologize. They know when I'm streaming, although my daughter wasn't downstairs when I said I was going to stream. So that was probably the noise. So you heard one of my kids using the shower, unless you're hearing it now, and that's the background of the laptop fan. The dog will bark, but luckily it's dark outside and Amazon has done all the deliveries, because oh man, she goes crazy during the day, but it's all you can do. Luckily it's night outside and she's not watching a lot of people walking, but otherwise she'd be barking like crazy. Let's see, how can I get this? And this is actually the most interaction I've had on my stream in a while. I have 3 people on the stream and 2 people actually talking. So this is awesome. I love it. Hopefully it's a new topic of upgrading an app. As you can see, just some basic migrations it is. Oh, no worries. Thanks. I've actually looked at getting some soundproofing panels to put up on the wall to dampen some, at least the echo, and maybe some of the other noise that happens. I actually saw something that looks like a tent that you can kind of put around to Bug me 3/4 to death. Nice. A tent to put up to block out some of the noise. Luckily luckily and unluckily, I don't have carpet in this room, so there's nothing to absorb the noise. And the house is relatively old, so if, the shower is being used directly above me, I hear it in the pipes and plumbing. So let's see what's up with my configuration. So let's make sure the files got copied. Where is my mic nowadays? So if you see my screen, my monitor is just about as wide as my camera. So right now you see my hands on the screen. The microphone's about 3 inches from my left hand. This hand from my mouth, it is about an arm's length away. So elbow to here, so 12 inches away. If I move the camera a little bit this way and tilt it, you can kind of see the camera in relation to my face. Another way of seeing it is, let me switch camera views. 1 second. If I enable this and disable that one, you should be able to see it. So now the camera is going this way, so the microphone is here and my face is here. It's about 12 inches or so away from my face now. And let's mute laptop webcam. There we go. Oops. I don't want my laptop screen showing. I want the secondary screen showing. Okay, cool. I also tweaked a lot of the microphone settings to get it better. I have the pop screen closer to my face. It actually used to be where the fan, like the indoor fan is, but I don't have the indoor fan on now that it's nicer. So I can move it a little bit to help reduce some of the noise or the popping. But the audio quality seems to be looking better now that I lowered the gain on it a little bit. But again, any feedback is more than welcome. Let's see, where am I in here? Contacts. Speaking of feedback, one of the issues I have with lighting is the screen. So this monitor puts out a lot of light, even though I have the brightness set to like 20% now. Look at the difference in my face when I have a mostly white screen on, like this Explorer window, versus a mostly black screen. You'll notice my face, you can instantly see the light comes off my face. Whereas as soon as I bring Explorer back on, the light appears. So I've been struggling with that for a bit, trying to find a happy medium outside of switching everything to a dark theme. So I'm just going to make sure that the where'd my test projects go? Oh, they're luckily. I got to clean up the directory solutions for this. Yep. App settings should have been copied to bin debug. .NET Core. Yep, app settings is there. Wow, last I worked on this was December of last year. A while ago. Okay, so why didn't you load? Configure. Get section, domain configuration section. So I wonder if this is not working. Nice. Let's see what the configuration turns up. I know there were some changes from when I started playing around with this in .NET 3.1 to 5 with some of the configuration things. So I wonder if something changed in here where I need to update this. So I call the configuration section connection strings, I think. So it looked like it did. I wonder. So this returned a connection string. Later, Jeff. Thanks for coming. I'm going to probably be done in a minute anyway. Got to figure this part out. Domain configuration connection strings. So that just gets that. Which points it to here, and this says, give me a required service of connection strings, which it does populate. Event Meetups database. So let me check that. It's probably just a stupid spelling error. Where are you? Data test. This one I was running. No, I was running. Which one was I running? This one. Apps.json. Connection string event meetups database. The name looks like it's spelled right. Connection string events meetup database. What am I missing? What am I missing? Let's do split down. Connection strings, event meetups database, event meetups database. I honestly don't know what it is. Now I'm going to have to figure it out tomorrow. Well, it looks like we are at an impasse for today. I think I may work on a little bit more tonight. Oh, there goes the shower. So if you're hearing the noise again, RC Bisme, it's the shower. So see if you can hear it again and let me know. I'll keep talking for a little bit and be quiet. I don't know why you were broken. You hear the noise? Fudge. Domain should be getting that configuration, should be pulling that. Why is this service not loading that? Oh, to run project. Service profile test. Here it is. Connection strings. Configuration connection string. Well, I wonder if it's because it wasn't an configuration string. Let me try this. Service provider dot get service, and then what I want, domain dot interfaces dot configuration dot, oh, I don't want interfaces, domain dot configuration dot connection strings, and I probably have to do a type of. Nope, that didn't work. Why are you complaining? Nope. Get service. Let's try get service and not required service. Domain dot interfaces dot configuration dot connection strings. Nope, still no. Okay, I gotta figure out what I did. I think it's because, I got user secrets in here twice. That's one thing that can cause it to die. So let's fix that. And then the second is the mapping. So here I'm adding a singleton with the connection strings. And then I'm telling it to grant a string. I have to check the syntax for that. I'm 90% sure that that's no longer right, but I will look at it and figure that out. That's pretty much all I have for today. We'll start tomorrow with hopefully this working and start building out some more of the testing and then working on the API for this. Any questions, any other feedback, feel free to reach out to me on any one of the social media outlines on the deck below or on the screen below. Thank you. It was a pleasure.